Okay, hi guys, Dr. Sean here again. We're back into our mailbag, and we had a great little question here regarding a condition called ulcerative colitis. A gentleman wrote into us saying that he's got a good friend that's kind of laid up with this, and he has flare-ups and all kinds of problems. If you've ever had it, you know it's horrible, it's miserable, it's loose stools most of the time, lots of inflammation, abdominal pain, a lot of blood tends to occur with this while you're having bowel movements. So it's a very serious condition, and you want to keep an eye on it. You always want to respect whatever's going on in the body. Never take anything for granted. The body's trying to tell you something, but there's some things we need to learn about it. And what's interesting, when you look at the bowel conditions, and this is a major cornerstone of my practice, I do a lot of digestive work. So the bowel is part of that. And so when we look at this, you want to focus on what's going on here. The colon itself is so inflamed and so irritated that it's not healing. Now, what's important about that is that your bowel lining turns itself over every 4 to 6 weeks. So you know that if I've got this ulcerative condition that's going on, whether it's Crohn's or colitis or IBS, if I've got this irritation going on and 6 weeks passes and I still have it, I've not found my cause. The body's not able to repair it. And that's where you have to start. Now, our mainstream paradigm for treating these conditions is anti-inflammatories, probably steroids of some type, and immunosuppressant type drugs. And there's nothing wrong with that for hey, my house is on fire, I got to put a truck on it. But it doesn't seem to ever cure it. And a lot of these patients end up actually having large parts of their colon removed later on. So we got to go back and say, okay, if we can put a fire truck on it and calm it down, how do we fix it? How do we repair? How do we remove that cause or that stress that's causing everything to get so excited and aggravated? So that's where we start. So when patients come into my practice, I run an exam. The exam allows me to kind of get an idea where the main fires are, what's going on. History helps a little bit with that. We get some idea off of it, but you really want to do a 24-hour urine test, and that's where we start. The urine, again, tells me what is the body doing with the parts and the fuel that I'm giving it. So if I'm giving it fats and protein and all these things that it needs to repair and heal with, why isn't it healing? And that's what you want to do with that urine test, because it'll tell you, hey, I'm not using it. Every time you bring it in, I'm throwing it away. And the problem with that is that you can never repair. You can never heal. So we focus our work around the urine to get us in the ballpark to know, okay, where are the big fires at? Then we run our exam and take a history. And by doing those three things together, it lets me know, hey, I'm playing on a soccer field, I'm in Guam, and here's the team I'm playing against. So I have some idea, because it doesn't do any good to be playing soccer if you're on a baseball field. It's the wrong thing. So it gets us in the park. Now, once you've found that, you have to go looking for the cause. Now, genetics and all those things play a role, but they're like a seed packet. They're something you were given by grandpa and grandma and mom and dad. As long as you don't water that packet, the weed will not grow. And that's what we've learned with genetic work. It's not the genetic problem in most of the population. It's the signal that's getting inside from the environment. And that signal can be mechanical in nature, trauma of some sort. It can be some type of toxin or environmental food type thing, or it can be an emotion. So we look at those things and say, okay, if I can just balance this, then I take the stress off the body. Now, once the stress is off the body, the rule is nourish, nourish, nourish. Seal the gut, heal the gut. And that's what you're trying to do with this. We use mainly plant-based formulas, enzymes, whole food, things you can buy at a grocery store. You want to put different things in to help when you have big fires. One of the products I like to use is something called Stomach, STM. It's a nickname for it, and all it means is the lining of that gut. The plants that are in there are very, very helpful at causing the gut lining to try to repair and heal itself. But the key to this, and this is what makes it work so well, there are enzymes in it. And the enzymes digest those plants. Because what you'll find is in people who have digestive problems, they're not breaking their food down very well. So when they take all these different things to help, oh, Mrs. Smith said take marshmallow root, or so-and-so said take slippery elm, or do a probiotic. Those are great as long as the body can use them. But if the body's in so much trouble that it can't use regular food, how is it going to use an herb or a supplement? It won't. And that's where a lot of people fail when they try to treat these conditions. The next thing is, once you have that figured out, you know what the body needs, and you clean the diet up a little bit, got rid of the inflammatory things. You know that colitis and that bowel lining, it needs fat, water, alkaline minerals, and good probiotic bacteria, good bacteria to help it heal. Then you use acupuncture to help stabilize it if you can. If you're around or you're close, you would needle. And you would go through and do different acupuncture techniques. One of the techniques we use in our office is something called moxibustion. And moxibustion uses heat over an acupuncture point. But the points are specific for getting the bowel to tonify. And that encourages putting energy into that bowel, and that encourages that bowel to heal. And that is exactly how you handle a patient who has ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, celiacs, IBS, any of the above things. You do that, and your whole life will change.